And welcome back to my unprocessed life. Heading out this morning, going to work. You can probably tell by the vibration on the road and the shakiness of the camera. So today is day 4, I guess. It's Thursday anyway, and so I've now been eating unprocessed food since Monday morning. And honestly, today I'm feeling pretty good. I'm behind the gun as far as time goes. I haven't been getting enough sleep, I know that. I know I need more sleep, but I hadn't been able to figure that part of it out yet. But I'm working on it. And let's see. So last night after I got home, I really didn't eat much yesterday. I think I may have talked about that a little bit on my afternoon video. But I really didn't have a whole lot yesterday. I had my green juice like I normally do, and then I had a banana for a snack, and oh no, I didn't have my banana. Did I? I had 2 bananas yesterday, but I think I also had the strawberries and pineapple yesterday as well. That's what it was. Anyway, and then I had about a pound of salad for lunch, and that's really kind of all I had eaten until I got home. And so then when I got home, my wife, which if you follow her, she's Stark Raving Raw. She has her YouTube channel and Instagram. If you want to follow her, she's Stark_Raving_Raw. And she's been doing raw lifestyle stuff longer than I have. Although ironically, we were talking about this the other night. Maybe it was last night. I don't remember. Anyway, we're talking about it the other night, and whenever I feel bad or I'm having issues with my diet, I usually blame it on her. It's not fair, but I usually do. And she reminded me last night or whenever we were having this conversation that I was the one who actually found the raw food stuff about 4.5 years ago when we moved to Birmingham. I was looking at how to be healthier. Ironically enough, I was actually thinner and healthier then than I am now, but I just can't get away from the sun, can I? It's funny, because if I leave early enough, I have headlights screwing up my camera, and then if I leave late enough, I have the sun screwing up my camera. So that's awesome. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so about 4.5 years ago, when I came to Birmingham, Alabama, I was looking at different types of diets and, trying to figure out how to be healthier, because I knew I had a baby on the way, and I really wanted to be healthier for when Dylan was born. And I had stumbled onto the raw food plethora, not the YouTube videos. That was really the difference between what Jana found and what I found, was that most of my research revolved around Google and reading articles and so forth, and most of hers revolved around YouTube. And the thing that was really pretty awesome about the YouTube piece was that you could actually hear people's stories as they were being told, and you got the real life connection that you didn't get out of articles. And I think that's what's made the difference. But anyway, she was reminding me, hey, you were the one who actually found raw foods and said, hey, we should look into this. And then we let it sit. And we did. We were expecting our first child at the time. And what we ended up doing was we ended up buying a Vitamix, which was, ultimately speaking, one of the best investments I ever made. All $450 that we spent for it, which at the time I thought was insane. And it's still not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. It's still expensive, but it's an investment that I felt, and still to this day feel, was completely worth it. I used to go through blenders, back when I was a bartender. I would go through blenders frequently, and when I say I didn't even use my blenders for bartending, I used my blenders to make drinks at home, and I would probably go through one blender every 2 months, 3 months, and I would buy anywhere from a $30 to a $70 blender, and then all of a sudden, well, hey, guess what? I need another one. Oh wait, guess what? I need another one. So I think on an average year I would spend about $150 on blenders, and so averaged out, that's probably, I've probably paid it off now, and anything I get out of it's gravy. So I can't really complain. Plus, it does a much better job. It does things that $30, $40, $50 blenders just can't even touch. And so it was a great investment. So we went out and bought a Vitamix. We bought an Excelsior dehydrator. What did we get? We went and bought things like that would allow us to experiment and try to figure out, raw food stuff. At the time, we didn't really understand low carb, low fat raw vegan, or all we understood was that maybe eating raw foods that had their natural enzymes available would be healthier for us. So that's what we did, and a lot of it was the high fat raw food stuff that is pretty popular, when you go to the restaurants and things like that. Anyway, fast forward, we still have those things and we still use them. The dehydrator's awesome, the Vitamix is great, and you don't have to have those things. But anyway, when boiling it all down, I guess getting back to my roundabout point, I'm kind of babbling, but we started this journey a long time ago. It wasn't just yesterday that we decided, we're gonna do something radical, which of course my viewpoint now is that it's not radical at all. It's actually sane, and more sane than other things. But one of the things that we do know is that you have to get enough calories every day, and I'm not doing very well at that. So what Jana's been doing for me is making sure that I have the food that I need. And so when I got home, I really wasn't hungry, but I ate a couple oranges, and then she made me a 7 or 8 banana and ice cream, which if you've never had those, they're really good. I'll go on record and say that hey, listen, I'm not a fan of bananas. I don't really. It's not that I dislike them per se, but I'm not a fan of the flavor. I never have been in anything, whether it's gum or candy or actual bananas. So, one banana here and there is not too bad. I can always handle that. But the massive amounts of bananas that we eat now, a little bit more challenging, really. And so, when you blend up bananas and make a quote-unquote an ice cream out of them, or an ice cream thing out of them, then you're kind of like, well, this may be a little bit too much banana. But the way that those banana ice creams are made is, there's not a lot of ingredients. You take, 7 or 8 frozen bananas, and then a non-frozen banana, throw it into a food processor. You can do it in a blender, and we've done them in blenders before, but the food processor seems to make it more like a soft serve ice cream. And so what you do is you take the banana and blend it in the food processor, and then what you do after that, got an accident this morning on the road, slide by here, don't clean that up, got a flat tire. So they blend that up and add some other flavors. So a lot of times they'll add a little bit of vanilla extract and some cinnamon, or if you like chocolate flavor, carob powder or cacao powder, or other things too. If you have a hard time getting your greens, then you can blend in your kale or romaine or spinach, and you won't even taste it, but it's in there. And the way I like mine to be chocolate, and I like to have cacao nibs on top, because it's kind of like, it's the closest thing in the raw world that I can get to like chocolate chips and things. And so those banana and ice creams are just phenomenal. And it helped me get my calorie content way up. It's almost 800 calories there. Well, maybe a little bit more. So there you go. And that was about half the calories, for the day. Well, not quite, but somewhere I need around 2,000 calories a day. And people are like, oh, well, you don't think you can lose weight though? Yeah, you absolutely can. And on a low-fat, raw, vegan diet, on unprocessed diet, you can actually eat many more calories and still lose weight, because the type of calories really do matter. Anyway, I would like to say again that I'm not doing this to lose weight. I expect to lose some weight in the process, and I expect to lose more weight once I start to exercise. Right now, I'm pretty heavy, and it's hard to exercise without causing a lot of joint issues. And I still walk. I do some walking. I try to do some low impact stuff, but probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll ramp it back up and start doing some exercising. And I would expect to lose some weight there. But because I would also do some weight training, I expect to gain some weight. So it's kind of, the weight thing really doesn't matter to me as much as getting healthy. That's the key. I want to get healthy, and any way I can do that, I'm going to do that. And that's the key. And then whatever weight loss happens will happen because I'm getting healthy. I'm getting rid of the hypertension. I'm getting rid of the diabetes. I'm fixing the way my body works. So that's what I'm looking forward to most. Again, not against exercise. Just it's tough to do when you're really big, and so you try to do as much as you can that's more low impact and so forth. Yeah, I did lose another pound yesterday, by the way. Not that it matters a whole lot. I just like to have something to kind of keep track of, what's happening in my body. And I try to weigh at the same time every morning, just so that I kind of know, this is what I'm weighing. These are the changes in my body, that kind of thing. There are much more accurate measurements, body weight, mass stuff. Actually, like taking a tape measure and measuring my gut and all those kinds of things. And here's the deal, and I've done that before. I've done that in the past. I had great success 15 years ago with Body for Life. It's a great program, and the only part of that program that I disagree with now is the diet portion of it, which was a very important part of that. It really was. But here's something that I learned. Well, I would go to the gym. The Body for Life program is a great program, and I highly recommend it for anybody that's looking for a way to get themselves into shape. And it really worked well for me. I was able to bring my BMI from like 25 down to my BMI, my body fat ratio. I dropped it by a bunch, and I got a lot healthier. I was in better shape, and I was working out 6 days a week and doing strength resistance training and aerobics, and it was a really good program, except for the way that they taught you to eat was to eat a fistful of carbs and a fistful of protein, and that was your meal, and you would do that 6 times a day. There's nothing, well, there's a lot wrong with it, but in regards to that, it was an easy way to control your portions, and an easy way, from the old way of thinking. But here was where I was getting to. This is I had lost a good amount of weight. I had transformed my body in a lot of ways. I still had a big gut, and I was talking with the guy at the gym who was doing all my measurements and stuff, and I had almost no body fat in a lot of different places, like my legs, my arms. I had like zero body fat, but of course I had this huge gut still. Well, not huge compared to what I've got today, but it was still pretty big. And I said, man, it's so frustrating that the gut's not going away. And here's the interesting thing he said to me, and he was a former weightlifter, bodybuilder, competed, owned the gym, had helped a lot of people get into shape and so forth. He said, Elliot, you're on the right track. You're exercising just fine. But the thing is you just have to keep the diet up. Well, he said a lot of people think that it's all about working out, but in reality, you have to work out, you have to exercise, but the key really is your diet. You keep the diet up, and then the rest of it will fall into place. Now, fast forward 15 years to where I figured out that, the diet that I was eating then, even though it was helping me make my body look better. It wasn't helping me be healthier, really. And now I can understand that, you know, people talk about getting their six-pack abs and so forth. Well, here's one of the truest sayings you will ever hear in that world. Abs are built in the gym, but they're revealed in the kitchen. I remember the first time I heard that, my wife had said it, and I had never heard it before. I thought, man, that's brilliant, because it's true. The diet is actually a bigger piece of it than the workouts. And I'm not suggesting you don't work out. I'm not suggesting you don't exercise. I'm not suggesting that at all. Those are both very important pieces, and probably as important as diet. But if you are looking for success in weight loss, revealing your six-pack, you know, all those kinds of things, diet is super important. And you can't go, oh man, I worked out really hard today, I'm gonna go have this protein bar, I'm gonna go have this smoothie. And that won't do it. You've got to work on that diet, and that's where I'm starting. That's my foundation, is the diet, and I'm going to have to get into exercising, and there's just no two ways about it. And I will feel better about myself. It'll be better for my lymphatic system. You know, they go hand in hand. Diet and exercise do, absolutely. But to make sure I don't slip on my diet, I have to get that foundation first. So this morning I had green juice for breakfast, which I normally do. Today I'm not carpooling, so I have a little bit more time to talk and chat. So it'll be a little bit longer video today, probably 20 minutes instead of 10. I hope you enjoy. So, where was I? Oh yeah, so I had green juice for breakfast this morning, and some water, and I need to drink more water. I need to be drinking at least 4 liters of water a day. I'm getting about 2 done, and if I got 3, I could feel all right about myself, but I really need to be getting 4 liters a day, which is a little challenging, just because of what I do and so forth. Anyway, it's challenging because I'm lazy. Who am I kidding? That's why I need to do it more. And I'm working on it, and I'm going to work harder at it. By keeping it in front of me, that helps. By talking about it, it helps, because it makes you think about it. You know, a lot of times talking about things may not solve any problems by talking about them, but what it does is it puts it in the front of your mind, and your subconscious will work on it, as well as your conscious, when you're talking about it frequently. I also got up and did my meditation this morning, and my meditations have moved from 10 minutes to 15 minutes, which, you know, is a quarter of an hour, which is a tough one for me mentally, and it's been a challenge. It's been a real challenge to get my meditations in the last week, but I got it done this morning. Put me pretty behind for work, but you know, it's very important that I get those done. That is a scientific research shows how important being mindful is. It does amazing things for your body. It can help rebuild gray matter in your brain, which in essence will make you smarter. It's good stuff. So definitely got that done this morning. I packed myself a bunch of bananas and 2 oranges for snacks today, because I think I'm going to try to have a salad at lunch every day, because I think that helps my digestion. And you know, it's important because I've got a lot of toxins coming out of my body. You know, a lot of fat being, that's not technically true. The cells are changing in my body because I've been eating raw food and food with nutrition. What a lot of people don't understand about being fat is that you're overfed and undernourished. You're starving. You're absolutely starving, because your body is just packing away all of this junk, and it doesn't have the nutrients that it really needs. And so a lot of that has to clean itself out. And as that happens, it makes it harder. You have to get rid of all that stuff. And one of the easiest ways of doing that is make sure you have enough roughage in your diet. And as much as I hate salad, it's important to keep everything moving along. The fiber that's in the salad and the vegetables that go in the salad, very so all the time I'm constantly fighting in my head, you know, is this real or is this batshit crazy? And some of it is, man. I mean, some of it really is. But here's the thing, and here's what's interesting, is that science is starting to investigate things that holistic folks and alternative medicine folks have said for years. And what they're finding is that there is scientific proof, that there is wherewithal for some of these things that we find. And, you know, for instance, I've heard since I was a kid, and I grew up as the kid of two hippies from the 60s, man. I mean, and some people would even say, based on my appearance, I am one, but I grew up in that culture, and from a long time, my entire life, I've always been told, hey, you know, if you clean up your gut, everything will be good. You know, the health begins in the bowels. And I always thought, man, y'all are nuts. But here's the thing, they're not. There's scientific evidence now, and a lot of it. I mean, it's being studied. The microbiome is the big thing that is coming. Mark my words, you'll see in the next 10 years as it hits mainstream, gut health is going to be a huge buzzword. And not only will it be a buzzword, it's going to change the way people think about being healthy. But we've heard this for years, and a lot of people are like, man, that's just BSC. But really, there's some good science behind it. And it's actually pretty phenomenal what they're discovering. So, that being said, I constantly struggle with, you know, whether this is something that's healthy or it's crazy. And for me, that's a real struggle, because I'm a technically minded person. I'm a logically minded person. And just believing, you know, that good stuff's gonna come my way. And so, I mean, that doesn't do anything for me, because I'm like, come on, you know, what does that do? But here's the thing, there's little bits and pieces of that are grounded in reality, like visualization. And we can talk about that. You know, athletes use visualization all the time. It's one of the things that I'm actually learning in some of my mindfulness and meditation stuff, is the amount of meditation and mindfulness and visualization that you do in those things. What I started to learn is that I've actually done visualization techniques my entire life. It's been part of who I am, but I never knew that that's what we called it. You know, I've always visualized what's going to happen. I've always had scenarios in my brain about, okay, how's this going to happen, that going to happen, and so forth. And I play it all out in my brain, not realizing those were actually visualization techniques. And they help quite a bit. So I'm always straddling the fence between, is this crazy, is this realistic? Because there is some crazy out there really is, and there's a lot of crazy out there. And I'm not one to say that, you know, unless it's scientifically proven, that's just, you know, it doesn't exist, because that's just not true. I've seen too many testimonials of people that have fixed their health problems with whole foods, with plant-based diets. Everything from cancer to diabetes. I mean, you know, it's amazing what they've been able to do. So I'm always straddling that fence and trying to figure out what is what. So for me, kind of where I'm going with this is, I'm trying to get my life to what I eat to be unprocessed as possible, as close to nature as possible. As close to nature, that's not really true. As close to, I want all the good stuff that comes out of food. And if the good stuff that comes out of food, if there's more of it there when it's not cooked, then I want more of that stuff, because I want to heal my body more, and I want to be healthier, and so forth. So that's why I called this my unprocessed life, was because I want to stay away from I want it to be simple. You know, things that don't, things that are complex don't work real well in the diet and the food lifestyles. It has to be simple enough that it can be followed without too much of a problem. Otherwise, it doesn't get done. That's why I'm a big fan of whole food bananas, whole food oranges, salad. You know, I don't care for it, but I know how important it is. You got to get your greens in. Anyway, so I'm glad you've joined me here. I know this is a really, really long video. I may be able to edit out a few minutes of it, but you know, it's going to be close to 30 minutes. So if you hung out this entire time, thank you for that. Thank you for staying with me. You can find me on Instagram at myunprocessed.life, and I don't have a Facebook page yet, but we'll change that at some point. But you can reach me there. You can also reach me at myunprocessedlife@gmail.com if you wanted to reach out. Of course, you can always comment or like, and I will see you again soon, this afternoon, actually. Let you know how everything's going